I just finished a ride, and it's not my best, but it was good enough for me. Just getting out there and starting my day. It is something that I enjoy, so it doesn't feel like work. It's hot. It's because it's 85 degrees, and it's supposed to be 105 today. Now, this is going to be the kicker. I have to get home, showered, and out the door to work, which I already know I'm going to be a few moments late. Thank goodness for the love of uniform. And a jumpsuit uniform. It's going to be one of those type of days. I usually like to get out super early before the heat hits. It's not always that perfect, given my night and work.
Continue on the road for a quarter of a mile. The expected drive time is 15 minutes. In a quarter of a mile,
that's a wrap.
turn right.
This is me stealing a little bit of my day. I was speaking to my sister,
Stop sign on to West Hefner Road.
and I was telling her how
Turn right at the
in
stop sign on to
2019,
West Hefner Road.
to be exact, it was July 19th, 2019. And I woke up in the middle of the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I had a dream, and these thoughts, they were just like etched. It was like real strong of shift, like shifting mental health, shifting what I do, shifts in the way that people think about mental illness. Not only did I realize how much, or it's not much, but how strong that word alone would be in my life, and how I've had to shift. And so I closed the clinic there in Nevada. Long story short, I ended up opening a clinic in Nevada called Shift Psychiatry. And when I first opened it, I had all these bright ideas. They weren't mine. They weren't mine to have, to be honest with you. I had all these bright ideas of what I can bring to the community there, and what was needed. And it didn't necessarily go that route. And all I kept saying, and even in the moment in the dream, I needed to give myself 3 years. I thought that giving myself 3 years meant that whatever came my way, I was to hold on and keep pushing at that business for those 3 years. And, that I would be really successful in that. Well, I was successful, but not in the financial aspect of things of what I thought. I lost more than I gained. And let me turn it around. I lost financially more than I gained, but what I was sent there to do was much bigger than me. And for those that know, they know. There were people there that I met that were patients, clients of mine, that it became more meaningful and deep in ways that it's hard for me to even understand, and even ways where I went to the Lord and I was like, am I crossing any boundaries here? Because this seems like real touch home.
In 700 feet, turn left.
Years later, so I continue at that business, and I decided that I needed to go ahead and close it down. And the first time, my thought process, I was feeling really heavy about closing it. But when it was time, it was time. I knew that when it was time to close it. And it came effortlessly. And so my thought processes was one of many. One, I had my two granddaughters that I'm like, okay, they're going to high school, and I need to be present for that. And so I needed to, hunker down, shift down in a lot of things that I was doing. And then it was a couple of things. I was adjuncting at a university, and although I liked the what I was doing and learning in that aspect, and I ended up leaving that for almost a year, but still kind of helped out community-wise, meaning like taking students. And then the research, I was doing research, and I was like, okay, enough of that too. So all these things I had going on with owning two businesses, working for two hospitals, running a household, kid, two teenagers, and still trying to find time for self. Somehow I managed it, and I would carve it out, sometimes better than others. But I was not prepared for the way that my life truly shifted. And as I was telling my sister, I was like, everybody has this shift in their life. And it's different for everybody, whether it's loss, divorce, trauma. Every one of us, we're pivoting, we're having to readjust and realign, and there's a before and there's an after. And I know that not in a bad way, but I am not the Brandy I was before Shay's passing. I am starting to stand in the ground. I'm starting to ground myself, or stand in the knowledge of so many things that I knew, but I kind of held back on, and saying no. I know that I still push myself. I'm probably my biggest critic and the hardest person on myself, and that's okay. You always go harder for self than anything else. But that shifting is pretty powerful. And so the clinic that I run, I was like, I don't need to go work for somebody else and add something else to my plate. What can I do in what I already have? And I did all this training and added on to my degrees and this aesthetics world, and so that's where the Beauty Shift Collective came. And all my thought processes is anything that I do, I'm always wanting to help others and see others do well too. And so I called it a collective because of education, not just for other people that may want to do it, but for the people that actually receive the services. And so that's where that came. And also having my brand up under that with just my own techniques and things that I find along the way. There are many experts in this, but this is just my journey. No competition in that, and how I'm platforming and coming out with that. But when I say life is different and that shift is different, I've always had the older girls who are 15 and 13, and now I have added to my plate a 3-year-old and now recently 6-year-old, and the 6-year-old is autistic, which is there's nothing wrong with that. It's a little bit more challenging in how I have to set up my day, my life, and things around it. The entire family, all of us. And then the 3-year-old is rambunctious, and she has a personality, a strong personality. But it's been challenging, and I ain't no young buck no more. I'm tired. It's already run a lot, so adding that to it, I really have to be considerate with my time. I don't know what tomorrow holds, and not losing myself in this. And so my promise to myself is that I have to get up every day. And I don't know, I tell the patients prior to this, I would say, you know, I don't know how it is to grieve in that manner, but a few things that you should do: you should eat, you should try to get the best sleep that you can, and get you some fresh air, sunlight, daylight, fresh air. And those are the three of the things that I aim for. And if I can't get a lot in, what I try to get in most of the time is something that is going to do my body some good. Sometimes I just want a donut, I ain't gonna lie. And that may be it. So I am getting better. I'm trying to continue to smile because it does the body good. Sometimes I have to cry because it does the body good. I'm not gonna ramble today. I just wanted to be intentional because I didn't know how to answer that question. It's so hard to be truthful when people ask you, how are you doing? Honestly, I don't know how I'm doing. I know I'm getting up and I'm going. I don't know if I'm good, if I'm bad, or other. People tell me that they admire my strength, and I feel weak as hell. And I'm just being real. But I know that God gives us strength. I know it's nothing but Him, because at times I've not even felt my own presence of standing. So with that being said, I think that as I go about sharing my authentic truth, that I just want to make this a safe place for people to maybe share their tips, or maybe people can take from my perspective and see that I'm getting up and I'm doing. It's not perfect, and there's no perfect way of grieving. And I don't think that anybody should put timelines or have their adages to that, because again, grief is different for everyone. And show people grace, even if you feel that they are strong. Show them some grace. Being strong, kind of hate that word sometimes here lately. There was something that I've bought it on a t-shirt. I've posted it back in the day. You know, you don't know how strong you are until being strong is all you have. Maybe that's where I'm at. But you guys have a blessed day. It's 8:48 in the morning, and I have to make this turnaround. I'm gonna, for kicks and giggles, I'm gonna see how fast I can run through this, get myself together, get this teenager together that also is working and doing a summer program at the clinic. How fast we can get together and get out the door. So it is 8:48. I already know I'm gonna be late, but I want to see how well I can get it together and get out the door. I'll be updating y'all in a few moments. So, like I said, it's 8:48, 8:49. I probably am 2 minutes from my home. Talk to you later.